Morning everybody, joined us back here at Monkey World. We're doing another live at our Woolly Monkey house. If you're watching this on replay, I'm going to talk for a minute or so just while the team behind me are getting the play area ready for the guys to come in, and then we will be turning it around and watching the monkeys. So if you're not interested in listening to me talk, just skip through the video on the replay. If you are live, then you've got to put up with me talking for a few minutes, I'm afraid, while we're waiting for the other guys to come out. Hope you're all well and you're all coping during lockdown. It's a bit of a grey one today, but it's not raining, so we're happy for that. Hi everybody, Ksatsi, you'll come in. Hope you're all doing all right. Let me know that you can hear and see me all right by just throwing in a like or a thumbs up, just so I know you're all here. We'll be running the star programme again today, so if you like our videos and you want to support our work here at the park, pop us a star. It's just a couple of pence and it will all really help towards our work here and keeping us going during closure. Hi Jackie, hi Victoria, good to see you all coming in. I see some lights coming in as well. So we're at the Bachelor Woolly Monkey enclosure. Sharon is just, oh no, the guys are in. The guys have just come in here. I'll turn you around. She says. Here we go. So this is our Bachelor Woolly Monkey enclosure. As you know, we ran a hose appeal for these guys last year to kit out their new playroom, because this was our adoption centre at the park. And we decided to create a Bachelor Woolly group. So this is these guys here. So Sharon's just joining us as well. So I'll spin you around. Hi Sharon! Hello! Would you be able to tell us who is here? If you stand in front of this one, then we can see these guys here.
So we've got Carlos just in a little ball pit there. So he's 5-year-old male. He's had quite a growth spurt since arriving in the Bachelor group. So he's not actually a full adult yet, but he's our biggest male in here. So yeah, they're all sort of contending. Here comes little Lemmy, just in the ball pit as well. So he's the youngest member. And then we've also got Manny and Cassius in today. So Manny's just enjoying the board. You can see hanging up. So we've just squidged in some oats and banana and just try and encourage them a little bit off the ground as well. They do really enjoy these boards because we just hang them up and it just keeps them nice and active.
So the boards are just, I think you can see them there, just ply, is it, with
They're actually chopping boards.
Chopping boards,
recycled
okay.
chopping boards.
Yeah.
So we do try to recycle and reuse as many items as we can. So it just simply has holes drilled in, and then we just just squidged in some nice gooey oats and banana just to keep them busy and active.
Fantastic. So this group was our newest group of Woolly Monkeys, isn't it? In fact,
yes.
Bear with me one second, guys. I'm just going to take you off so I can get you a bit closer to this window so you get less reflection. There we go. So it's our newest group of Woolly Monkeys. Carlos hanging here. So he's there making really good use of his prehensile tail. Just bear with us, we've just got some traffic going past. Yep, see, never ends here at the park. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit about prehensile tails, Sharon, for anyone who might not know anything about them?
Yeah, so woolly monkeys are one of a few different primates that have a prehensile tail, and its use is basically like an extra limb. So these guys in the wild would actually spend the majority of their time quite high up in the canopies, and in order for them to sort of have that tail when they're moving through the trees, so it basically will reach out and hang on to things. Give them the extra sort of support if they want to be able to forage freely with both of their hands, for example, like we're seeing with the boys here. Even a big boy like Carlos, who weighs around 9 kilograms, can suspend his whole body weight from that tail, so it's extremely muscular. There's a sort of a padded area at the end which helps for extra grip as well, so it's just a really great adaptation to living high up in the canopies. And there's Cassius here now hanging on with that white board. So yeah, we do try to encourage them to sort of use that sort of natural behaviour as frequently as possible. Our guys do like to pop down to the ground as well for a little forage, but that tail is always in action. It's almost got a life of its own.
Yeah.
Even when the babies are born, that tail is good indication that their babies are happy and healthy, because they're always looking for something to sort of grip onto.
So the baby's tail will grip onto mother's tail.
It's always sort of looking to sort of loop around something. So yeah, it's a very, very important part of the woolly monkey anatomy.
Fantastic. So I read that the woolly monkey prehensile tail allows them to reach up to 150% more food in the forest than other primates, which is or primates with prehensile tails can get far more food than others. So it's a really, really handy adaptation for them in the jungle. So these guys will come from South America.
Yes, yeah. So primarily the Amazon rainforest. They're dispersed across several different countries within the Amazon, and yeah, they sort of primarily will be quite high up in the canopies, searching for sort of ripe fruits. They're omnivores, they do like lots of bugs and grubs. So in the little forage tubs, what the boys are interested in is we actually have some waxworms in there, which were donated yesterday as well.
Fantastic.
Little Lemmy in particular really likes a waxworm, so yeah, he loves his protein. So yeah, we're always giving them quite a nice variety of things, and they all have different tastes as well. So some of them would rather go for the sweeter things, and some of them do like their protein items.
So the waxworms are in the ball pits, are they?
Yes.
Look at just missed him. Apparently we've come down in rush hour, so hopefully we'll have these guys moving out the way soon. So it's Cassius here, isn't it?
Top Manny's down there on the ground. These two have actually formed a really strong friendship since we've introduced Cassius. So Cassius and Lemmy are the newer additions to the group. It's been quite interesting to see who gets along with who. So yeah, Cassius favours Manny and actually Paolo. Not so keen on Carlos for some reason, and Lemmy loves Manny as well. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see the dynamics of the new group. So introductions are still ongoing, but we're hoping that they'll have them all together in one big group soon.
So I was just going to watch is that Carlos emptying out the ball pits there, having a look for the grubs.
They've also got some seeds in there as well. So,
So yeah, we kitted out this playroom sort of last year when we built it. So we did a hose appeal. So all these hoses that you can see them hanging off and moving themselves around are because of your donations, guys. So thank you very, very much for that help. God, we have got a noisy day. We've got gibbons singing, chimps yelling, and traffic going past. But hopefully you can all hear us all right, or not too bad. We're not competing too much with the noise. And who's this just here on this chopping board?
So that's Cassius again. So he's having a bit of a growth spurt as well. So Cassius
he's big.
Is 4, just gone 4 years old. So him and Claude, so Claude's outside with Paolo today. They're around the same age. So yeah, Cassius is doing quite well in this group.
And they're both chippy babies, aren't they?
They're both
Claude?
chippy babies. Yeah.
Yes. So we tend to name the guys after the first letter of the father's name. So it's a little hint to whose is whose around the park. It keeps us lets us keep track of who they are as well. Okay, thank you very much for all the stars coming. I can see them coming from Sharon. Thank you so much. It's really appreciated. I'm just scrolling back to see any more questions while we're getting going. We sort of got going quite quickly this morning. Di wants to know how many are in this group in total, because I can't add up. Six.
Got 6
Ah, thanks for the stars, Zoe. That's 3 weeks. Amazing. Yeah, hopefully this can be a nice little time out for you all. Mid-morning, you can all have a cup of tea, relax, forget about everything else that's going on in the world, and watch our woolly monkeys having their morning enrichment. So they've just gone out for the morning, haven't they? Then come back into the playroom after it's been prepped overnight. Is that right, Sharon?
Yeah, so we just sort of moved them through. They had breakfast in another part of the house, and so yeah, some of the others have gone outside now. So we've just made their playroom nice and interesting. While the introductions are still ongoing, we're having to sort of split the group a little bit, and especially with all of our other groups as well. weather's been pretty miserable lately, so if we can just make their days a little bit more fun and interesting indoors, if they're not fancying going out in the rain, then yeah, we're always looking for new interesting ways to keep them happy and active.
Absolutely. And they look very happy, don't they?
Enjoying it very much.
Okay, let's see some questions coming through. David wants to know how many males are in this group. This is our bachelor woolly group, so they're all males. So 6 in this group. At the park we've got 26 26 woolly monkeys in total now. This year we've had, well, in 2020 we had 3 births. So we had Esmeralda, Catalina and Leroy
So
right at the
one in
start of
each
the year.
breeding group, yeah.
Yeah.
Had a busy year.
So
Last
spread
year.
out. Caroline wants to know, I'll come back to you for this one, if you can give us a clue about how to identify them.
So they are all very different. I mean, in a group like this, we have mixed ages, especially. So it's kind of deciphering. We've got sort of 3 bigger boys, adult boys, and we've got 3 adolescents. So the easiest ones to tell apart would be Lemmy, because he's a tiny little boy, he's got 2.5, and then Carlos he is our biggest boy in this group, but we do have 3 rather large lads, so he's quite grey in colouring. So we do have variations in woolly monkey sort of colouring. So some of them are quite a deep reddish colour, all the way through like a lighter brown. So Manny and Paolo are fairly similar in their sort of colorations and size. Sometimes it's behavioural as well, so Paolo especially quite enjoys interacting with the public, so when we are open and he comes to visit, he's most likely to be the one that's going to come and see the window. We have Claude in this group. He's very dark, so very, very deep dark sort of brown colour. And the way to differentiate between the sort of younger boys and the bigger boys is once the adults go through their adolescence, they get these large, their heads start to grow very large, big large head lumps, and their jaws become quite big as well. Canine teeth are very big as well. And then if you wanted to tell apart the females in the other groups, the females have got a much more smaller rounded head, little bitty canine teeth, so they don't need the weapons to be able to defend and sort of to kind of contend within their group, so they're not as threatening and much smaller in their body size as well. So about 3 kilograms difference between an adult female and an adult male, so quite a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll see if we can see any of the guys. I don't think they're going to come over to the window because they've got so much fun enrichment. But I was there's little Lemmy.
There's Lemmy.
Yeah, he's grown.
He's growing a little.
Yeah.
He's slowly.
And nice and strong. And he's a
Lavar baby.
Lavar baby. Who's mum?
Ava. So
Ava, that's
Ava's, we moved him to this group because Mum had another baby. He wasn't very happy with the situation, and Cassius was also ready to move on from his family group. So because they were friends, we made the decision to move Lemmy with Cassius. And actually Lemmy has lived previously with Carlos and Manny, and he was very fond of Manny in the previous group when they were together, so we thought it'd be quite nice for him, and it did work out really well because he was very pleased to see his old friend. So yeah, he's quite happy being in a bachelor group.
Fabulous. So Kira, who sent some stars, thank you, wants to know how old can a male woolly monkey live up to? Is there any difference between the males and the females? Do they have the same sort of lifespan?
It's actually generally the same and dependent in captivity or the wild. I mean, quite often the males in captivity might sort of live a little bit less because there's a lot more sort of pressures. So woolly monkeys are notoriously difficult to sort of maintain in captivity because they can become easily stressed. So we've got very good records here, and our oldest male is Lavar, and he's 30. So that's a very, very good age, but you're normally in captivity, you're looking for mid to late 20s, in the wild maybe around mid 20s.
So Lavar's doing brilliantly.
He's doing really well, and he's still maintaining leadership of his group. He's in great shape.
Superstar, super big boy. Okay. Let's go back through to see any other questions. Did I see a question from Sammy about the lives? Yeah, we are doing lives every week. You can go back and watch our old ones on here as well. We've got another one coming up on Friday, which I'll tell you about at the orangutan nursery as well. So we're going to do that Friday morning. The orangutan nursery, the team have been really busy renovating the outside of the nursery, giving some new hammocks and some new items around to keep the guys busy. So we thought we'd show you the introduction to it on Friday morning when the guys first go outside and see them. Come around here. As well as doing a short little lesson for the homeschoolers. So that'll be Friday 9 a.m. I will put the post up later to schedule it, and the worksheets will be up later too. So hopefully, Sammy Ann, sorry, there we go. That will keep your little ones busy and keep you entertained. Might give you a bit of a break as well. You've got something nice and interesting for them to look at. They're loving that banana, Sharon. Nice treat. Yeah. Yeah, Caroline, that is Hananya's group shouting. They're right behind us. I think they've just come out for some breakfast as well, or brunch. So yeah, they're being quite noisy. I'm saying hello to. Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, on Friday morning, 9 a.m, 2 days time. Let me have a look through. Chris, yeah, we do breed these guys. We breed these guys and the slow Lorison are the only animals at the park we do allow to breed, just because they are so rare and endangered and so difficult to breed in captivity. We've actually had a really good record of breeding them. They are prone to preeclampsia during pregnancy in captivity and high blood pressure through stress. Whatever we're doing, we seem to be doing it right. And our guys, I think in like the world captive population is something like 45, and I think we've got 26 or something individuals here that are all part of it. So we know we've got the world's largest healthy breeding group of woolly monkeys. So we that's the reason we breed these guys, or allow them to breed. Now, while we've got Sharon with us, I feel like we should get you to show us some of the woolly monkey communication. So, yeah. Well, how about snuffles? So this might be something that people see when they come to the park, and that the monkeys do when they come up to the window. So can you tell us a bit about that and what it is?
So a woolly monkey snuffle, it is normally, you can see it more frequently with the males. So what you might see is sometimes it looks like they've collapsed, so they kind of go into a little ball, they cover their mouths, and then they make a snuffle noise. So it's just like, and it might sort of be vibrating a little bit. Sometimes the actual vocalisation is so quiet that you can barely hear it, so you'll just see them hiding, and they might have a little glimpse up at you. So boys, especially when we've got our big males living together, they'll use that to diffuse tension. So maybe if the girls have been causing some problems and the boys are trying to sort of just stay calm and diffuse the situation, they might sort of approach each other, have a little bit of we'll call it a snuffle bundle, it's a little bit like a cuddle, and then they'll kind of walk away. Sometimes these snuffles can go on for 5-10 minutes, and they're just there, and it's just a way of them just kind of forming friendships and bonds as well.
So if the woolly monkeys come up to the window and do that to our visitors, that's a nice thing.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah.
It can sometimes mean that it can be a little bit of a security thing. We see it often. Again, a couple of our guys have been carrying it, so if they have been handy, they want to come over. Quite often we see them doing it to men as well, rather than women. So again, just trying to sort of show that they're not really anything.
Just wait for the tractor to go past.
And also the added nail, so they cover their sort of teeth, so that's their sort of danger point as well. So by covering their teeth, if they want to approach a small baby as well, when babies start to climb off them, the male will sort of again make himself very non-threatening, a nice big ball, snuffly noises, cover his teeth, and then babies will then feel a bit less intimidated to go over and say hello to the big male.
So covering up their weapons almost,
yeah,
putting down their swords.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So what's the plan with these guys for the rest of the day?
So they've had quite a busy morning already. They've had their breakfast as well as having their nice sort of treats of the banana and oat sort of suspended boards and the seeds and waxworms in the ball pits. They've got their lunch in there, which is their leafy feeds, which they really do enjoy. So I'm sure they'll probably settle down for a little bit now after all the excitement. They often have a little sort of nap around midday. And then they'll probably get up and be a bit more active, so we'll give them a few more bits and bobs to do, a few more feeds, and yeah, they normally settle down then by the end of the day. So
I suppose the thing is we always say with these all of our primates here, the best enrichment is them spending time with each other, isn't it? Really, yeah.
So they've had an active morning, so they're probably, normally we see that Lemmy might want to sort of have a little snuggle down with Manny, for example. Hopefully maybe Carlos can try and sort of affirm his friendship with Cassius a little bit, because he seems to have offended him recently. We haven't really seen any reason why, because Carlos is actually a really nice boy. So it's nice for them to spend this time together, and if there have been
build
any problems,
bonds,
they can just make friends again.
Lemmy's showing how fantastically strong that tail is there, hanging off that board. Limbs either side of it, making sure he gets every last bit of banana off of there. Wonderful. Any questions for these guys? Danielle's asked, do we think the monkeys are missing seeing the public?
Some of them certainly are. There are a lot of our woolly monkeys don't tend to sort of interact very much, but a lot of them, they do find it quite sort of interesting just watching people interacting a little bit. So I think some of them certainly are finding it quite quiet. Luckily I suppose at this time of year we wouldn't be getting a massive sort of footfall anyway, but it would be, I'm sure they'll all be really happy to see people coming back through the gates again.
Like watching TV, isn't it? Watching the big screens go past. Di wants to know if there are any foods they can't eat.
We do try to avoid too high sort of sugary sort of items in their diet.
Try that again.
So they have quite a varied diet. So high iron foods are actually quite good for these guys. So lots of sort of green, leafy vegetables. And despite the fact that they do eat a large amount of fruit in the wild, it is quite different to the fruit that we actually sort of cultivate ourselves, which can contain a lot of sort of sugars, which if these guys have too many sort of sugary fruits can actually bring on illnesses such as diabetes. So even though they've got a tiny bit of banana smudged in there, we wouldn't sort of give them sort of excessive amounts of fruit compared to what they would actually eat in the wild. So we'd just sort of try and balance it out. And we do, we're always checking in their enclosures, so any plants, for example, that might be poisonous to ourselves, any sort of mushrooms or things like that, we're always doing checks, and we do remove lots of sort of vegetation, especially in the spring months, to make sure that they're not going to be eating anything that could do them any harm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting, isn't it, with them? I think so many sort of well-meaning people think that all these guys can eat natural diet, and then we've had issues before where we grow the trees around the park, the fruit trees, and which we do grow to give to the primates, but maybe only some primates, maybe only during some parts of the day or some parts of the year when they're ripe. And we've had visitors pick that fruit and throw it into our animals before, which can just cause huge problems for our primates. So it's really interesting to know why that can cause problems. So thank you for that. Let's see. So Lena, Sharon did sort of speak about that a minute ago. So 25 is about how old they normally get. We've got the oldest woolly monkey at the park is Lavar. He's 30, so he's doing very well. Caroline, the boards are chopping boards, so they are plastic. So just reuse chopping boards. Chris wants to know, where does the strength come from? Is it all muscle?
Yeah, they're incredibly muscular. So even say from when they're born, they're incredibly agile. So again, these guys are going to be spending so much time high up in the canopy from the day they're born. They need to be able to grip on really tightly. So the females tend to have quite long chest hair, because when babies are born, they climb straight out onto that. So they're immediately developing muscles not only in their limbs, but that special prehensile tail again. So there's no primate that's got quite a nice big chunky muscular tail, quite like a woolly monkey. And so especially when you see the males, it's kind of in comparison to their body weight, they need a stronger sort of tail in order to suspend their full weight. So the boys have got these really huge muscular tails. So yeah, they are extremely muscular monkeys.
Fabulous. Carlos, is it Carlos down there really enjoying that?
Yeah. He's enjoying his Chinese leaf now, a bit of leaf feed just to go with all of those treats. He does love his food.
How long has this group been going? Sarah wants to know. Thank you for the stars as well, Sarah.
So we started the first introductions, I think it was March now, last year. So that's when we first moved the first couple of boys in. And the introductions were ongoing for sort of just a couple of months. They went surprisingly well. The first 4 boys were Paolo with Claude, and then Carlos and Manny. and they did really, really well throughout the summer. Because we could see that Cassius was ready to leave his family group, we made the decision to extend the house, because the house as it was couldn't really accommodate a larger group, so that's why we have incorporated this nice big playroom onto the existing house. And then in the winter, in November, we moved Cassius and Lemmy, and everybody is getting on really well, so we're really hoping that these guys will be out and about and all together as one group very soon.
Yeah. And when the weather gets nicer as well, that'll make it easier, won't it? They'll be able to spend more time in that big, fantastic outside enclosure they've got out there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's little Lemmy just come down to the ground for a little forage as well. Judy wants to know, how long do the babies stay with their mums? It's a nice question.
So there generally is a 2-year interval between births, so they start weaning off at around sort of a year old. We start to see the babies become slightly more independent of mum, but yeah, up to 2 years old they're generally pretty close to mum. But the females in the wild will normally sort of then start to leave their group at around 5 years old. So between sort of 2 and 4 is when they start to become a lot more independent, and then that's when another baby may have arrived. Male woolly monkeys normally actually stay in their family groups, which is why you have these multiple male sort of dynamics, why they have incorporated these behaviours like the snuffling, and it's why we can actually work a bachelor woolly group, because males have created lots of behaviours to be able to sort of live quite happily together. So we actually find our boys get on quite a lot better than our girls most of the time.
It's the females causing problems. Helen, I hope that answers your question about the all male groups in the wild. Thank you, Kat and Rosemary, for the stars. That's wonderful. And Angela, thank you very much. 3-week streak for Angela, amazing. Okay, back through. Caroline, we will be accepting blankets and towels again when the pandemic's easing off a little bit, when it's over, she says, with crossed fingers. At the moment, while we're in lockdown, we're not accepting any, it's not counted as essential travel to come down to us to give us blankets. So, and we're trying to keep sort of any cross-contamination to a minimum. Having said that, if you can get some delivered to us, that's wonderful. Like new ones, fine, thank you very much. But I think it'd be fair to say that at the moment we would like fresh fruit, fresh veg, anything that's going to help our shopping bills of food at the moment while we're closed. So that'd be really, really helpful. Amber, their natural habitat is in the Amazon basin, so countries such as Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru.
In Peru as well.
Yeah. They kind of live in semi-flooded forests, so that's why there's so little known about them in the wild. They're very, very hard to study because they live in the trees that are above swamp forest, essentially. Okay. I'm going to just head back to Sharon and say a big thank you very, very much for joining us. I'm going to stay here and take a few more questions, but I don't want to hold up any of you more of your time. But thank you, and a little round of applause for Sharon, everybody. Thank you, guys. See you later. Now, the window's just getting a little bit steamy where these guys are inside, so I'm just trying to find a little area that you can still see through. I think that's not too bad. Danielle wants to know if there are any new babies on the way. You have to wait and see. We will always announce them first in the ARC. So it's a benefit of being an adoptive parent, so you get to know the first news about those sort of things through our Ape Rescue Chronicle. I feel like I should now plug the adoptions. Of course, it's a fantastic way to support us. And all the money goes into a 100% fund that's only used for primate rescue and rehabilitation. So it's only used for the care of the guys here at the park for the rest of their lives. No admin fees are taken out of it at all. And we've been incredibly lucky to have our wonderful supporters stick with us through this time, even though they've not been able to come and visit us at the park. So we do love our adoptive parents very, very much. We hope to see them again soon at the events this year. I'm hopefully going to be back going again. Hi, you. So people often ask who our least adopted primate is as well. It's Delumi at the moment, one of our Mueller's gibbons. So she's hardly got any adoptions. Our least adopted chimp, I think, is Buxom. He's just got a couple. He took over that title from half-brother Jester, who in the summer didn't have very many, but after we showed Becky talking about Jester and how wonderful he is, and him showing his, him doing his wonderful, being how good he was for his eczema treatment, he got a sudden influx of adoptive parents, which was so nice for us to see, because he is a great boy. The other chimps in Bart's group, the older ladies, such as Kathy, Chatter, Grisby, I think Mickey, Claire, and they don't have as many either. Right, let me go back through some more questions. Hi to everyone sending stars as well. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up with them while talking, while trying to film all at the same time, so I'm sorry if I miss any, but we do really appreciate it. Charlotte, we're assuming that, yeah, we know apes can definitely contract COVID-19. Humans are apes, and there have been cases of gorillas getting apes in San Diego Zoo, gorillas getting coronavirus in San Diego Zoo recently. So it would be very, very strange if our chimps couldn't catch it, which is why we're taking such high precautions of them at the moment. And when we opened, why we were being so careful with our apes and our visitors, making sure that we were staying safe for them. We'd rather not find out if they can get it though, to be honest with you. Jill wants to know how we are. Jill, that's really kind. For supermarket deliveries, all the things we need are listed on our website under donations and appeals. Most people will just pop in our postcode and let us know when things are arriving. And we're very, very grateful of anything like that. It's incredible. Oh, lots of nice things for Sharon. Yeah, it's great for her to give us up a bit of her time. They're very busy, these guys. So it was really nice for her to come out and quickly talk to us about these guys as someone who's adopting them all the time. Vic, thank you for adopting Mitza. Joe wants to know how many meals do they have. 3 to 5 a day, depending on the species. And obviously the size, depending on the size of the group. We try not to give them 2 regular meal times, actually, to keep it a bit more interesting. Obviously they get a breakfast and a dinner that they know when that's coming. Then move it around in the day. We don't, so often people come to the park and ask when their feeding times are, and the answer is we can't really give a fixed feeding time because we try to keep it interesting and different for them. They're not expecting food all the time at set times. Nah, sorry for tempting you. Just go back through. Oh, thank you for adopting Rika, Danielle. And you'll have to tell your niece she has to come and see Rika here instead. It's much nicer for her to be with her pals here. She wouldn't want her living in the house, really. And Caroline, yep, filming for series 14 is going on. There is some exciting news on the TV series I will be announcing on Facebook this week too. So if you're a fan of Monkey Life, watch this space. We've got some really exciting news for that. Sammy Ann, to adopt. Oh, that's really nice. It is £27 for a child to adopt, so that's £27 a year. And with that, you get a photo, certificate, 3 newsletters a year letting you know what's going on in the park, any births, any new arrivals, any rescues, any medical bits, and how the primates are going. And you also get an annual entry pass to the park, which I appreciate this year has been not the greatest addition, but we really appreciative of anyone who still uses it and comes along. It's great. Yeah, Caroline, Laura's adoption soon, hopefully, fingers crossed. We're trying to get onto it. Karen, I'm really hoping you do come to see your adopted boy Gordon soon. Excuse me. Ruth, Gibbons, we're hopefully going to catch up with Kat next week at the Gibbon house. I'm going to see if I can maybe do like an aerial view of them. I'm going to come over here to see Lemmy as the other boys are just moving out. Yeah, if people would be interested in that, I might see if I can convince our maintenance team to hook us up high so we can see the Gibbons from up high. If we can get all the stars aligned, the Gibbons in the right place, the primate care staff free, the maintenance team free, the Wi-Fi to work up that high. So that's my kind of plan. But we will be catching up with the Gibbons anyway. Joe, Budimata and Mimi are doing very well. We're doing a live on Friday, 9 a.m. from the nursery, so come along then to see those guys. See him in the bucket. So it will be an educational live, so we will be doing going through the worksheets and telling you that we've put up for the homeschooling. They are on our website already, and they'll be on Facebook this afternoon. Lemmy's emptying out this bowl. Yeah, that's easier than getting in, isn't it? Just empty the balls out. Well done. Thank you, Charlotte. Yeah, we appreciate it's a hard time for everyone, so we do feel bad constantly asking people to help. We know it's really tough for everyone, but we also just feel we owe it to these guys. Where if I go like that, can you see a bit better? Yeah. We've also got our Amazon wish list for people asking about the supermarket deliveries. If you want to buy just 2 bits, that's really helpful as well. It's got the items we need on it. Caroline, yeah, I think we should be able to do that, to change your adoption chain and get 1 magazine if you want it. Can you give the guys in the office a call on this? The number's on the website. If you give them a call, they should be able to sort that for you. But yeah, Woolies do eat meat. They eat a bit of chicken, have some eggs as part of their weekly protein allowance as well. Jason wants to know how much it is to adopt Lulu. Lulu's one of our chimps. If it's for an adult adoption, oh, the price has changed. I think it's £37.50, but it's all on our website under Adopt a Primate. So go and have a look to check for sure. Or you can give us a call. We can do it over the phone as well. Oh, that's strange, Helen. You haven't been able to adopt Lumi. Let me check that out. And I hope there's no gremlins on our website stopping that. Hope you're well, Helen, as well, and recovering. Sue wants to see the orangs. Yeah, we're going to go and see the nursery orangs on Friday. We saw Gordon's a few weeks ago, so we're trying to sort of spread it out and make sure we see a bit of everybody. So yeah, Friday morning, 9 a.m. for the nursery orangs. Hi, Lisa. Glad I was able to give some information about them. I often feel like I'm gabbling and trying to do too much stuff at once, so I don't give any information, but I'm glad I was vaguely informative at that point. Karen wants to know if there's a reason we only ask for black trugs. They're kind of cleaner and they're more easy on the eye, is the only reason. Any more questions? Can I see anyone else through here? Sorry, I'm reading questions and not actually looking at where our woolly monkeys are. There you go. Look at that, fantastic climbing on the cargo net. Who has kids that can do that? Hang from their toes while eating. Jenny, which Mueller's gibbon is it that hasn't been adopted? I think that says. Delumi. She's only got a few. I spoke about one of the parents with a sock and a bell. Oh, I can't remember that. Oh dear, what did I say? Okay, it's getting very steamy. So, depending how long this all goes on for, we would like to do some more sort of live tours of the park where I'm walking around. I like doing them at the enclosures at the moment because I can get Wi-Fi each enclosure, so that ensures that I don't have any little glitches. You might remember a tour I did last year where I just seemed to be battling against phone signal the whole time. And as the weather's colder, the guys are spending more time inside, so when I have a wander around, it's not guaranteed that I'm going to see everybody outside, so it's easier for me to come into the houses where we can still see everybody having fun. Oh, Tamsin, you want to see the squirrel monkeys? Yeah, of course. We can do something with them. And that should also reminds me we should probably plug that there's just a week left to have your say on primates for pets in the public consultation to get that law changed in the UK to stop primates being allowed to be kept as pets. Obviously, this is what we've campaigned against for many, many years, and where nearly all of our squirrel monkeys have come from, the UK pet trade, which is all legal at the moment. People aren't aware that you can keep them all without needing a licence at all. Squirrel monkeys, marmosets, tamarins and titi monkeys. So do go and have your say on it and tell the government that you think the law should change. So that's open till the 6th of February. The link is, if you go in the About Us part of our Facebook page, or if you go onto our website, the link is on there to the DEFRA consultation. Go and have your say. And now, how often do we change what's in their enclosure? In terms of enrichment, every day something gets changed. In terms of the sort of the hard, well, most weeks we change kind of how things are set up with like hoses, and we try and refresh the enclosures most days, most years, sorry. So refurb them most years. Obviously it's harder with some enclosures than the others when you've got the great big climbing frames of the chimps and the orangutans. That takes a little while. Hi Kai. How are Gordon and Rodders? They're doing very well. We saw Rodders yesterday, and he was hanging out in a hammock, being very relaxed for that silly boy. And I'm sure they miss you too. Hey you gonna come say hi? No? Sandra, the slow loris aren't spending much time outside at the moment, where it's quite cold, so it's quite difficult to film with them because obviously when they're inside it's dark, so they're a bit of a difficult one for us to get. That's why we're trying to share some photos of them when they sort of wake up in the morning when the lights are on. We have to be really careful with that, of course, because it sends completely the wrong message that loris are all right being in bright light. Thanks for the stars, Lisa. That's amazing. So the loris are sort of quite a difficult one to get at this time of year. Thank you, Sue, for having your say. In the wild, do they spend all their time up in the trees? If that's it, why are they spending a lot more time on the floor here? Yeah, they do spend a lot of time up in the trees in the wild, mainly because they live in flooded forest. So on the floor it's very wet. And we have spread out some items on the floor for them as well, just to give them more area to move around the enclosure and more things to do at every level. So they've got the hanging buckets with the food in, and then they had the crates on the floor as well for them to forage through. So just for a little bit of difference. So we give them lots of things they can imitate their natural behaviour by being up high. I think they've all run away. And then also to spread them out and make sure everyone gets some food, we put some bits on the floor too. Typically they have emptied some of the things that have been hung up high onto the floor, and that's why they're just foraging through it there. So that bucket there was filled with balls that are now all on the floor. Sarah, the woolies, Sarah. The woolies cope with the cold. The houses are all heated inside. So they go outside and they come back into a nice warm house. So that's how we try and keep the humidity up quite high as well in the houses, because obviously that's what they'd be used to, which is why I'm sort of struggling a little bit with with soggy condensation windows at the moment. Emma, hi Emma, thank you for supporting our big gift, by the way, for the East. That's great. So just recognised your name from that. Do we have a greengrocers now where we can get fruit and veg at wholesale prices? Hang on, I'll just wait for the tractor to go past me. Not that I know of, actually. We use a catering company when we order in our food. But yeah, so not that I know of actually around here. And then supermarket deliveries really do help as well. Where are they all going? Let's have a look. They're moving too quickly for me as I'm reading the questions. They're popping out of view. And there's someone at the top there. It's very foresty there, doesn't it? They've got brows hanging down. Jackie, yeah, we've got an Amazon wish list. That's on our website. A link to it is also in About Us section of Facebook. Go on the donations and appeals. Sue, Millie is doing so much better. Yeah, that was a horrific story, horrific rescue. But yeah, she's doing amazingly now. She's at the park. Thank you for asking. Another reason why the UK pet trade just has to stop. Oh, I hope you feel better soon, Nicola. Okay. Lemmy's got a lovely big bit of Chinese greens there. Mm. Okay. Right then guys, I'm going to finish up and love you and leave you here now, as the guys are just starting to move away into the other bedrooms where they've also had some food put out. Really hope you've enjoyed seeing a few of our woolly monkeys this morning. They are really fascinating creatures. We've got 5 groups of woolly monkeys at the park. Hang on. Bachelors, chippies, Lavars, Enzos. 4 groups of woolly monkeys at the park here. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. And yeah, they're a really interesting group, and I hope you've been able to enjoy seeing how the donations for the hose appeal went to good use here at the park. And renovated our adoption centre now into a lovely woolly playroom, which keeps them nice and busy. Thank you so much for everyone who sent stars. That is great. They come through on the live videos. I try and see them all, but they do keep on coming through a bit afterwards as well. So if you're watching this on replay and you want to send some stars to us so we can get a couple of pence to help towards the care of these guys, we do really appreciate that. We'll keep on trying to keep you updated with everything that's going on in the park. So we'll be at the orangutan nursery on Friday, 9 AM. Join us there. We'll be doing a short lesson, but also catching up with the guys. Thank you, Lisa, for the stars. Catching up with the guys and seeing how they're doing in their new enclosure. It's just been refurbed, so that'll be the very first time they're going out to the outside enclosure, which has all been redone. The Amazon wish list is on there. Donations and appeals for any ways you can help. What else? Homeschooling things will be on this afternoon. I think that's probably about it. If there's anything you want to see or do, or us to cover, or any questions you have to ask, please do send them in and we'll try and get them. Thank you very much for your support. Have a lovely day, and we hope to see you soon.